Welcome back to the channel. So today, guys, this is a serious episode and an important episode. And of course, we're talking about the recent SEC subpoena on one of the hex influencers, these hex channels, right? That are looked at as promotional by the SEC. But not only that, are taking a deep dive and a deep look into hex and is it in violation of any securities law. So this article comes from the bitcoinpost.com site. Let's read a little bit about what's going on here. So on the 3rd of November 2022, Mr. Well announced in breaking news that the crypto influencer promoting hex has been subpoenaed by the SEC. And he's showing here the documents. With the current crackdown by the SEC on a lot of companies and decentralized projects in the crypto space, the most welcome development by certain members of the space is the crackdown of hex. The project has since gone on its Telegram channels to release hex news. The content of the news is different ways members of the hex community can destroy chats and documents relating to their activities in the project, making statements like a clear hard drive is a fun hard drive. They advise that the best features in Telegram are the secret chat auto-destruct timers and private messages. That way, not even hackers can access the information from their devices. They went further to advise their users on how American law works and how they shouldn't talk to the police, sharing reasons why they should use their Fifth Amendment rights when questioned by the government. Now, all that sounds very fishy, and it is. The project has always been seen as a scam project, with the founder, Richard Hart, having a long history of criminal activities, ranging from extortion to theft and blackmail. It is believed that the project was built as a way for Hart to launder his own money while scamming others. The project is built this way. Users send their Ethereum to a master wallet, which sends them equivalent value in hex. Then they use the hex to ask for loans, lend crypto to other users, and carry out other traditional bank-driven activities. In turn, they are to expect a 40% ROI on their deposits. The first red flag is nobody knows who owns the master wallet that used to run the whole ecosystem, and Hart refused to disclose that information during the interview. The second issue, there are no respectable projects that can sustainably provide a 40% ROI just for lending users funds. Thus, as it sounds too good to be true, it might be. Now, hex might not be a Ponzi scheme sustained by Richard Hart's money laundering activities. Either way, he is now within the sight of the SEC. So that's very interesting, guys. So I've done videos and I've talked about how the SEC works, right? And I've talked about how some of the steps Richard Hart took probably wouldn't work if the SEC got involved, and depending on what type of legal precedents they set. And let me be a little bit more clear on what I'm talking about here. So this idea, especially with hex, how they had the, where you put the money into I think it was called the AA, or it was the amplifier thing that created more hex and so on and so forth. This time they have the sacrifice phases where in order to try to skirt around let me put it this way, guys. Let me be real clear here. Looking at a project like Postchain, PostX, Hex, in the view of the SEC, it's probably likely, right? And I'm not an attorney, this isn't any kind of legal advice or anything like that, or legal counsel. But I will say this. There is this impression I'm getting that the SEC could view much of what Richard Hart has done as a way to get around securities regulations, right? In fact, he pretty much talks about how uh, if certain information is disclosed, they could be considered as a security, right? The origin address is never disclosed, right? All this information. Um, and the SEC could view these as tactics to raise funds, right, in violation of securities laws as a clever way of getting around regulations, right? And although looking at this, it may seem like these are clever ideas and clever things that Richard Hart has done. It may appear that way, but it might surprise you all that um, there is likely a history of SEC cases to set precedents based on situations like this, where people have used similar tactics to skirt around SEC laws and raise funds, right? And it might, it might not be specific to a cryptocurrency, but it could be something as simple as maybe buying a frisbee or something like that, right? So, and the idea is you buy this frisbee and you own this company or whatever, right? So the point I'm making is it's likely that the SEC has seen variations of this play out before, and they would be able to set some legal precedents. Another thing is when the SEC starts to look into you and pick up a case and things like that and starts doing subpoenas and so on, it is likely that the SEC has sufficient information. This is something uh, that is like very something that happens a lot in federal. When you get a federal body, right, going after certain entities or people. Oftentimes they are pretty solid in the information they found to suggest to them that there is a problem. Uh, Everybody that the SEC has come up against in cryptocurrency has failed miserably, right? These people go down. And I don't think it's going to be any exception here with what Richard Hart's doing. Uh, there have been changes, I think. When I first started talking about Richard Hart projects and I saw some good things in them, I feel like Richard Hart was a different person then, right? He had a different message. Now Richard Hart is more of the same nonsense we've had in cryptocurrency. And Hex isn't as promising as it was. In fact, it's become like most other cryptocurrencies. In some ways, probably even worse, right? I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but it might be the truth. Um, I explained to many of you all who watch the channel, and not many people watch my channel. And the reason being is, whereas I probably should have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, it's been stuck at like 2,000 people for a long time. And that is because my information goes out to a certain audience. But I want you all to understand something about this channel and the education we try to provide, right? Just like we predicted that every entity that the SEC targeted went down, never to return again, this is going to be what's going to happen likely to Hex in the post ecosystem, right? They're going to fall, right? And that is a lot of that has to do with choices and decisions that Richard Hart has made, right? He's changed from, I believe, his original course in the early days of Hex, which could have been something great, to just a bunch of other crypto nonsense, in my opinion. That's why many of us have jumped on the Zen project. Zen went after it the right way. But you know what existed before Zen? Bitcoin MYK. And you guys didn't jump on that, where the cryptocurrency was given away free and not sold. You see, when you buy cryptocurrencies and you raise funds outside of regulations, right, you come up against these problems that I saw coming a mile away. But it's hard to convince you all to Go look at the properly done projects. To go out to projects where you could get the cryptocurrency for free, right? Where there is no sale of the cryptocurrency, thus no violation of securities laws, right? Um, where there is good distribution, right? Where there is a structure where it's likely that the cryptocurrency will have a utility, end up more stable, right? With a purpose. You see, a currency, the root word in cryptocurrency, currency, it has no more value at $1 million per coin than it has at $1 per coin. These are mediums of exchange. The purpose they serve is to transfer your value somewhere else. You know, they're not Ponzi schemes. That's not what we're talking about. They're not get rich quick schemes or any of those things, right? But you all have become attached to that to the point you've lost sight of the economic prosperity currencies can create, and especially if you give it to the world for free, like Grant Cardone basically suggested. But none of you all wanted to do that. You prefer to gamble with unregistered securities. And there's going to be a consequence in that. It's going to be a cost to pay for that, guys. And the cost may end up being you losing all your money. And the cost could end up being some of you going to prison, right? Unfortunately. Zen is not without its faults, but much like the Bitcoin MYK project, they have embraced a very fair structure, a very what I believe to be legally compliant. Because here's another thing, and that goes for everybody in cryptocurrency, it goes for myself and everybody else starting projects and doing whatever. In the end, the SEC is going to determine which of these projects are securities or not, and who's going to be subject to securities laws. I can tell you probably like 99.9% of the projects out there are unregistered securities. Some of you all don't care. Some of you all don't care about your money. Some of you all won't care until they come for you, right? But in any event, we don't know which ones are securities outside of Bitcoin, right? Because even with Ethereum, the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, has suggested, and I agree with him, that Ethereum technically was always a security. Ethereum raised money, right? Ethereum, and here's the thing, right? My thought process is if you commit a crime or you do a crime, it doesn't matter that later on you try to correct that crime on your own. If you've committed a crime, you have to pay the consequences for that crime, right? If you raise money illegally, you still have to pay the consequences that go along with breaking those securities laws, right? So that goes for Ethereum. Ethereum broke securities laws, right? It shouldn't get away with that no more than anybody else should. If that happens, the hex should be the same thing, right? Now, Bitcoin MYK, Zen project, we've given our cryptocurrencies away free. That is the basis of the projects. We've had people come to us and laugh at us saying, hey, you've been trying to give away these free cryptocurrencies for years, right? And they thought it was funny, right? But it's not funny when you violate securities laws and they start coming for you and you guys start losing all your money. Then it's not funny, right? Then it's not funny. So I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to end with the Bitcoin MYK project, right? Let's go over there real quick as we wrap things up. The Bitcoin MYK project, promoting the citizens' dividend, promoting universal basic income, giving away cryptocurrency free to the masses of people, moving towards mass adoption, changing the world, making the world a better place, right? Now, over the course of the Bitcoin MYK project's existence, we've reached right above 20,000 wallets, right? Specifically for the Zen project users on Matic, right? We're not doing the other ones because we feel that those other projects are out of the scope with the type of free crypto projects we promote, right? So we like Matic. Matic, you're giving away a free cryptocurrency, and although there are fees, these fees are reasonable fees, right? Uh, you're not paying more to send than Matic and so on, right? To do your transfers. And the great thing about our project, Bitcoin MYK on Matic, uh, you don't have to pay any fees. The only thing you have to do is open your wallet, and we drop the cryptocurrency in your wallet, right? So you don't even have to pay any kind of gas fees to get our cryptocurrency. Now, the only thing you have to do is input your wallet so we can get it. You don't have to link your wallet to our system. There is an address bar where you can put your wallet address in, and your address will be added to our list of wallets to receive the airdrop, right? To get the free cryptocurrency. And then every month you can get the cryptocurrency free using the platform, right? Now, the special we're doing here is the first 1,000 people on Zenmatic, right? Because it's only going to go to Zenmatic people, right? Polygon. It's not at this time. It's not going to Ethereum or Binance Coin. I'm not sure if it ever will go there. And the reason being is because we just feel like, at least with Ethereum, that the fees are just ridiculous high. We feel hard pressed to say it's a free project when you got to pay so much in Ethereum gas fees. Just never liked the idea of that. Now, Binance may be a little bit different, but we're sticking with Matic for now, right? And it will let you know in the future. But the first 1,000 people are going to get a full BBD coin. Now, to help you understand that, if we think about a decentralized crypto like Bitcoin, where at one time getting a full Bitcoin was easy, now you got to spend $20,000 for one full Bitcoin. People would have probably loved to have a whole Bitcoin right now. That's the opportunity that exists with the Bitcoin MYK token right now, that you can receive the token if you're the first 1,000 people. Now, after the first 1,000, you'll still receive the cryptocurrency. You'll still be able to earn it free on the platform. But the differences are you may not get a full BBD coin. You might get a fraction of a BBD coin, right? So you can see the importance of being in that first 1,000 Zen Crypto Matic users. Right now, this is only for Zen wallets, right? Now, if you don't have a Zen wallet, you can still come on the platform and you can earn. It's a very user-friendly interface. You can begin to earn the cryptocurrency through our proof of participation model, right? Which uses like a social media function, and the things you do normally online all day, just through participating, just by participating, you earn our cryptocurrency. It's a totally free project. And although the SEC sets the legalities on whose securities or not, and we would advise everyone seek out legal counsel and attorneys if they're involved in these projects, whether it be they created their own project or they're promoting project. As you can see, a person just promoting Hex has been subpoenaed, right? So be careful out there. Know what you're doing here. Watch this channel. Subscribe to this channel. Stop listening at people just tell you what you want to hear about moon and prices before you end up in prison. So the other thing is, so it's a totally free project. There is exchanges, third-party exchanges, DEXs, and so on, where the community, they can decide whatever value that the cryptocurrency is amongst themselves. That's their right. But the thing is, with the distribution of the cryptocurrency constantly going out, you're obviously going to have some inflation, but keep in mind, we have a very, very small supply to balance that all out. In a perfect world, the cryptocurrency will become very stable and valuable and free to transfer all around the world, right? Right. Spreading economic prosperity to those who really need it, enriching our lives, around the globe, because that's very important, because you can only have a good environment if everybody shares a certain economic prosperity, right? You just emerging rich from a project or a situation in your state of being, it doesn't help reduce crime. It doesn't help with health and medical costs. And these things boom around back and have an impact on everybody, right? And so you don't really have a world of abundance until you can deal with the problems of the world as a whole, right? And that encompasses more than you just getting rich, right? What did How does it help you to be rich in a crime-ridden world where every time you walk out your door, you can be murdered or killed by a person who's not rich, right? And so you have to think as a whole in these projects, and in a very homeopathic way, right? To make what you're really seeking better for all, right? But here's where we're at with this now. We definitely invite you all to join Bitcoin MYK, a platform we've hopefully designed to not have problems with the SEC. Zen is doing pretty good. It went up about 300%. Again, a free project that's showing the possibility of great value. And with the low supply of Bitcoin MYK, the assumption is it can do the same. But again, not financial advice, not legal advice, not legal counsel. Uh, but look at these projects for what they are, right? We're taking tremendous risk with our money, no insurances, no bodies to protect us.